Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Signal Fire Radio. Matt, I love our intro music.
Oh.
We're going to get sued for it before too long, which is okay because I was thinking about it on the way over here. Well, not sued. We're going to get a cease and desist at some point because we are the fastest growing and most listened to military podcast and radio show
in the world.
at least in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Definitely.
I think it would be cool, though, if we got a cease and desist from one of my favorite bands. I think we should frame that, Evan, and put it up. You think so?
No, I don't want a cease and desist from a band that we love. Because that means they're not happy with us.
Well, but that means
That's
they know
fine.
who we are, and they're communicating with us, and we're on their radar.
We get something with their letterhead, which is really cool.
Yeah. What do you think a Day to Remember's letterhead looks like?
I think it's probably pretty simple.
Yeah.
Like the one album cover with the like university
The
print.
homesick. Yeah.
I think it looks like an Affliction t-shirt.
Ooh. I don't know.
No, they moved on from Affliction.
But they are
t-shirts,
from
though.
Florida.
They are
so.
Ocala, of all places, the worst part of Florida, Central Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ev, dude, you did it,
We're
man.
here. We're here, guys.
We are celebrating a major milestone in the life cycle of Evan Anderson.
Look at that goat.
Hair's grown out. You got facial hair. You're officially out of the Army.
I'm out.
Catch everybody up on how life has been for you for the past couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been good, man. So the last couple weeks I've been onboarding with the new job in a very counter Signal Fire fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I signed out on Sunday and I started work on Monday. But luckily, throughout my transition, I was able to kind of really take that time that we talk about to do my journey of self-discovery. You know, but I started my transition 18 months out.
Right.
So being very deliberate with it and taking it seriously. You know, I didn't feel like I needed a long break in between. And luckily, with the remote work, remote first sort of environment, I can do it from home, but I have the opportunity to go to San Diego a few times a year, which is, you know, terrible.
And Mon Bon's next up, huh?
She's close, yeah.
Yeah.
She'll be out the fall of next year, so she's starting to get her ducks in a row, too.
I think we need to take a moment, Matthew, and reflect back on the year that we've had, right? Because we met Evan for the first time on Halloween of 2020.
It was Halloween?
It was Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah, it was Halloween. Halloween day. He drove in because I remember going back home and trick-or-treating with the girls.
And you were dressed as Buffalo Bill.
I was from...
You were?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll send you. You didn't see
You
that?
had lip gloss on and
I
everything.
had lip gloss and a
I don't
bathrobe.
think I saw
and-
that.
Yeah.
No?
Smoking
Yeah.
a cigar.
Yeah. It puts the lotion in the basket. That's what I kept saying to my neighbors.
It was good.
All of
Precious.
our neighborhood's pretty cool about trick or treating because like you'll go 3 or 4 houses.
Yeah, okay, now is that the same night that you got a little faded?
A little bit. I sat in the Huffman's driveway, and Jenna
Doing
finally had to
shots.
come and get me. Not shots, drinking White Claws. Jenna came and got me and was like, "Okay, it's time to come home now." So yes, that was the night because I was so filled with good vibes and just like a direction of the future that we didn't otherwise have. Because I'll say this in full honesty. Originally, I thought that I was going to do this show alone, and it was just going to be me and a guest. And then as soon as we had Evan,
That would've flopped.
Awful. It would have been
Super flop.
Oh.
It would have been the Rob
Full.
I'm talking for 45 minutes show.
Oh, my God, stop.
nobody would have listened. But no, things happen the way that they're supposed to happen, right? And so like we hooked up. Matt and I had a couple months into a friendship, and it hit me like on that day. It was like, no, this can't just be me and a guest. That would be dumb and stupid. We need to bring all this together because we knew it from the moment that you and I sat down, and then Matt came strolling in on his van with his Vans and those goofy socks, and I think you actually had that flannel on.
No, he didn't have that one yet.
No?
That was for his birthday last year.
Oh,
That is correct, Evan.
we're such good friends.
No, he didn't have that one.
We're such good friends. But anyways, man, it's been a roller coaster of a year. We've had some fun. We're overcoming some obstacles. We created a business around this. And Evan, man, I'm just so thankful and proud of you for like the past 12 months that you've put in, and thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Yeah,
You're such a dickhead. No, it's through the support of of you guys and of my network around me that I've been able to make a successful transition from one world to the next.
So what's next, dude? Like, I mean, you're at a company that you love. You're not going anywhere with this.
No.
You guys have plans to go to Columbia at some point.
Yeah.
Put down some roots. Like, what's the next year, 3 years, 5 years look like for the Anderson tribe?
The year for me specifically, this next year is I've accepted the fact that it's going to be a grind. That's the sales development life. With a fast moving Series A company, and we're working on that first movers advantage. We have a really unique product offering, and there's a lot of green space to prospect. And
I counted at least 5.
It's jargony, right?
Buzzwords.
You like the jargon
in that
We'll circle back, put a pin in it, and follow up with that later.
You dropped the Army so fast.
I
dude.
did.
Like you're suddenly gonna.
That was easy.
Do you say SDRs around the office? Is that
SDRs?
SDR and that's sales development rep. That's big in the tech software space, right?
SDR, BDR.
and AE, BDR. That's the one I was looking
Business
for
development
too.
rep. Yeah, usually used interchangeably. But so the next year is going to be a grind as I really cut my teeth in the industry and in the work. And the nice thing about being in a company that is smaller is that it's super collaborative. There's a lot of room for opportunity to build out the process as it's in flight.
How old is the company?
It was founded in 2019.
Oh, so
they have a 1-year head start
tech
on us.
startup.
Yeah. So, founded in 2019. They already picked up a Series A in the beginning of this year. Close to Series B. So moving quickly.
I don't know what
these are venture capital backings.
I do know what they mean, but
okay. Just making sure. Moving quickly and sort of found a niche within tech industries that were really helping to solve an issue.
You're going to kill it, dude.
I'm hoping so, man.
So I was talking to Panaccione and Foser about you the other night, the Veterans Business Collective. By the way, this episode is sponsored by the Veteran Business Collective. I told Chase we would do that, and he looked at me very strongly.
For today?
This is why I'm wearing the Veteran Business Collective shirt. If you feel like you need a hyper-local networking group that is committed to growing the tribe, giving economic opportunity, and finding a place where you belong, we recommend you look into veteranbusinesscollective.org. But we were talking about you and Luke. John and I were talking about you and Luke, but Luke was there.
Yeah.
And specifically how you guys have decided to get into sales. And it's been like, I want more and more of us, and I use us with the finger quotes, to go into sales after military service.
Yeah.
Because I found it to be completely freeing. My effort was commensurate with my compensation.
Exactly.
And when my head hit the pillow, I feel like I made a difference in somebody else's life just by, analyzing their needs, providing a solution, and then making a strategic and a tactical plan to move forward. You're going to crush it at that because you think the exact same way. But for people who are like right behind you that are thinking about, okay, what do I do next? Why sales?
The military really helps us develop a lot of the soft skills that are super useful in the sales world. We're used to rejection. We're used to establishing a process and relying on it, but also continuously improving on it. Creating things that are repeatable and that are scalable, but also adaptable. That's kind of what the military does. The enemy is always changing, so we have to change as well. And those things translate really well into sales, the ability to communicate, the ability to
influence,
to influence. A lot of people still. It's funny. I had a conversation with a guy yesterday. He's a first sergeant in civil affairs, getting out, and when he did his career assessment that we do through the Honor Foundation, he was like, sales were my top sort of scored traits. Indicating that he should go into sales, and he was like, sales. And people still really get like that sort of icky feeling about sales because they think of Glengarry Glen Ross.
Right.
They think of Boiler Room.
Go immediately to the pejorative,
exactly.
Like the pop
sales
culture.
bro, Wolf of Wall Street types.
Easy on that.
I said it. But that's that type of salesperson doesn't last, especially in the tech world, because you have to think about the people that you're selling to. These are incredibly smart, younger, very driven people. And if you're a slimy, salesy salesperson, you don't get any responses. You don't build any traction. It really is about establishing partnerships and helping to uncover problems that you have a solution for.
Yeah. I tell anybody that is coming to work for me or that has hit me up and is like, hey, I want to get into sales, you know, like they're all like, oh, how do I close more? How do I close more? And that should be the least important thing on your mind.
You don't.
The only thing you should go into every single sales conversation with your objective being, I want to create a lasting and enduring relationship with this person.
Right.
And if you're fake, you're phony, you're overly aggressive, you're a bag, whatever, you're not going to get that long-term lasting relationship. You might get a sale because the need is immediate,
exactly,
but you're not going to get the full lifetime value out of that relationship.
You're not going to get a renewal,
right?
And that's what matters, right? It's like even if you're just doing sales development, so like you're only focused on booking meetings, you know, if you can generate interest, great. If you can book a meeting, that feels awesome. But the whole purpose of the meeting is to turn that into annually recurring revenue.
Right. Dude, we were just talking about this yesterday, and we actually did it for, I don't know, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And we were literally cold calling businesses, and we had a little strategic roadmap of where we got these guys from. And I think I have 4 meetings set up out of the 8 people that I reached out to, literally, next week.
That's what Panaccione and I were talking about. Because, John, if you haven't listened to the episode of Signal Fire Radio with John Panaccione and you're thinking about going into business for yourself, finish this episode and then go back and listen to the episode with Panaccione, because what he and I were talking about is like the importance. There's no greater importance to a company, especially a startup, than revenue generation. You can build the airplane while it's in flight. But you need money to be able to do that. And so, you know, Matt and I and Chase were just having a strategic conversation. It's like, we got to go get some more clients. So I told Matt, hey, dude, let's show up at the office on Friday. Let's go through this call list. Let's book appointments and let's see what we can do. Because it will always boil down to, are you willing to out-hustle? Are you willing to do the things that other people aren't willing to do? And I understand that picking up the phone and talking to somebody can be a scary thing. Sure. Especially when there's no relationship at all. But it was funny, the first call that I made, I never met the guy. Never met the guy. Matt and I put him on the list. I put him on speakerphone. Total Wolf of Wall Street, right? Like when he's on speakerphone selling the penny stocks. Not really. Not really. But Matt, if you were there in the room, Evan, your eyes would have rolled, because he's like, oh yeah, you're the guy who does the videos, right? And I just look at Matt with that
I was like, oh, come on.
Grin. Yeah, that poop-eating grin. I'm like, oh, yeah, Matt, you know.
That happens way too often.
I know you, Rob.
I know.
The Biz Expo was on another level, though.
Yeah, Matt was not pleased with the Biz Expo. But you know what? Matt walked away, I think, with more people that wanted to talk with him, because I was there representing the insurance agency, and people would be like, oh, I know you. You know, it was like kind of a nice thing. And then like, yeah. Okay, bye. You know, it's like, I'm not going to really, really, truly engage with you. So
you know David Ward.
You know David.
I'll never miss a chance to do that.
Yeah, I know. I love it, dude. I love it. That's what I love about this. That's
the dude downtown?
That's the one that
circles around downtown with the truck. It's great.
Don't talk, because you have the same thing at Mayfair.
I took the truck down.
Okay, so it's not still.
Yeah.
Did you take it out, or like?
Yeah, I just took it out of rotation. I just said I'm just not going to do it anymore.
Pulled it out of the fleet.
Pulled it out of the fleet.
Sent it to Motor Pool.
Routine service for the next 12 months or so. We got about 40 seconds till the break, Matt. What should we talk with our guest about? Because we needed to get caught up on Evan's life.
Dude, just everything that makes him who he is.
Yeah.
I've had the privilege, because our wives have worked together, to like get to know his family and hang out with him, but their family is just an anomaly in my eyes.
And he's the pinnacle girl dad too, right? Like he's got 4 or 5?
Quattro?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Double what you and I have.
4 times.
And he's lived through it, and he's in great shape, and I'm jealous of him. So maybe that's what we talk about. We talk about parenting techniques with twice the amount of females in the home that we have. So, all right, cool. We're going to have a great conversation. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk with Colonel Kyle Phillips on the other end of this break on Signal Fire Radio.
Many universities offer specialized programs in entrepreneurship, and these can be great, but much time can be spent on subjects that may not be particularly useful in running a small business day to day. And they can be a longer time commitment, such as pursuing an MBA that could take anywhere from 1 to 3 years depending on the school and the program. Other options include programs offered by veteran service organizations and other nonprofits. These programs will cover all the functional areas of business, as well as allow you to work on your own business plan that you plan to execute at the end of the program. An example of one of these programs is provided by Vet to CEO, which is a several-week course that takes you through a whole business plan, as well as all the different things that are required to launch your business. And at the end of it, you can follow it up with the Funding Academy, which educates you on different funding options for your new venture. Bottom line is, there are a ton of resources out there for veterans who want to start their own business. It's up to you to do the research and select the one that is best suited for your goals, time frame, and lifestyle.
We started Signal Fire Media with one goal in mind: to make content creation easier for you. Let me tell you a quick story. I own multiple businesses, and in 2020, I opened an insurance agency. Now, I had paid attention to the way that everybody else marketed themselves and their agency, and frankly, I did not want to do the same thing that everybody else did, because I knew that the industry was going somewhere else. There are loads and loads of statistics that say that people will buy from and engage with companies whose leadership show up on video, on social media. There's more than enough social proof out there to suggest that video content gets you better engagement online. And so heading into the opening of this agency, I knew that I needed to have a big digital media presence. What I didn't know though was how video content creation would change my business for the better. I came to a place where I had no network, I had no customers, and so we literally started from ground zero. I started consistently posting video content somewhere around March of 2020, and by October of 2020, we're one of the top 200 commercial insurance agencies in the country. I was recently recognized as being one of the 40 under 40 here by the Wilmington, North Carolina Chamber of Commerce. That if you are thinking of new, meaningful ways to get your message out there, to interact with potential customers, please consider doing video content. And if you want, we would love to have a conversation with you about how we can make video content creation easy for you. Our model is to bring you into our studio for no more than 2 to 4 hours per month and deliver hours of video and audio content for you to use in the digital landscape. If you're interested in finding out more, we'd love to chat with you. At Signal Fire Media, we showcase ambitious leaders in the digital world. Thank you for your interest, and we'll talk to you soon. Welcome back to Signal Fire Radio, ladies and gentlemen. Matt, I was so excited about doing the show today that I totally forgot to tell people who are new to the show what this show is all about. So forgive me, I'm going to back up real quick, and I'm going to say that Signal Fire Radio is a show about ambitious leadership. And what we do, Matthew, is talk to other ambitious leaders each and every day, and we try to find out what makes them special. And specifically, we like to know, how do they feed their mind, how do they strengthen their body, how do they enrich their spirits, and how do they grow their tribe. That being said, why don't you introduce our guest, Colonel Kyle Phillips, because you've known him the best, or the longest.
You just did.
I did, but give him a real intro. How did you guys come to know each other? You said your wives worked together.
Yeah, so his wife, Bridget, who's a veteran also, she was a naval nurse.
Navy nurse.
Nice.
Nurse, yeah.
You got the Navy nurse.
Yeah. They both work together at the Student Health Center at UNCW. So it's like, it's like the on-site clinic for students. And then obviously they click because they both have like good personalities, so they like fed off each other. Mm-hmm. And then, the whole veteran synergy, Marine Corps synergy, and they got a freaking fire team of girls too. And then we, hung out with them one time and we're like, oh, this is a great family, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, as you're listening, I'm introducing Colonel Kyle Phillips, who's sitting right next to me.
That was a great intro, Matthew. Thank you.
We could just call you Kyle for the time being, right? Because I didn't feel nervous until just now.
Left hand, lefty.
Yeah,
right hand, righty.
Right? I'm like, oh, suddenly I got to get a haircut. I got to get back in regs. Oh, thank God. Is there, Kyle, anything to the nurse-marine marriage combo? Because my wife is a nurse. I was a Marine. Matt's wife, nurse, also Marine. Your wife, nurse. You also a Marine. We know countless people like that.
I think we're just needy.
Okay, is that what it is?
Yeah, we're really needy, and we need somebody who's a caregiver.
What are you like when you're sick? Are you like a helpless baby?
Terrible.
Okay. Matt, Evan, you guys the same way?
Yeah. I don't get sick very often.
No, you don't, because you're
But once
genetically...
when I do, it's man baby.
Superior.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm fairly certain that I'm my wife's least favorite patient.
Yeah.
And child.
Jenna's
right.
Jenna's bedside manner with me when I'm sick is awful. And I'm like, do you treat all your patients like this? And she's like, no, you dummy, because you're a baby. You have a 101-degree temperature and you're acting like you're on death's doorstep.
Put a wet rag on your head, Rob.
You know what? I'm going to keep doing it that way. I don't care. I like to be loved when I don't feel good.
I do too.
Yeah. All right. Josh likes it. He's giving it the thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm all about it too.
Yeah, okay.
The same way.
All right. Josh is all about it. Fifth mic in the studio.
Mic check.
Mic check. 1, 2. Kyle, tell us about yourself, man.
Well, first, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Started in the Marine Corps out of Villanova in 1998. So I'm 23 years strong.
98 was when you.
It's when I commissioned with the OCS in 97, and then commissioned in 98.
Did you guys, Matt? Were you guys at OCS together?
Are you kidding? That's when I graduated high school. I graduated high school in 98.
I'm sorry.
God, am I the oldest person in the room?
I know exactly.
No, you look the youngest.
I think I'm the oldest person in the room, aren't I?
You are, and you're probably the meanest and leanest. And well,
that's
powerlifting though. We're gonna have to give it to old Ev over here though.
It's okay. He could run circles around my dead body.
Yes, because these colors don't run. And it took me a while when he first told me that, because I was like, hey guys, I'm running a 5K. Hey, I'm going to go do this 20K. And he's like, these colors don't run. I'm like, it's a race. And then he's just like, no, I do not run.
Physically. No.
I was like, oh, that's what you meant.
I'm allergic.
Right.
Will you power walk? Will you walk fast?
I like a walk.
Yeah.
I like a walk.
I love it. Joined the Marines 1998 out of Nova.
Yeah.
23 years in.
Normal, first year in the Marine Corps, just like everybody gets commissioned. Went to the basic school and then infantry officer course. Out to California, so did a MU out there, which was just really good experience. And that was back when those Westpac MUs. I mean, you had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
You went out, you left San Diego, hit Hawaii, hit Australia.
Before we get all sensitive.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, and there was some good ports, some good training. Got our asses kicked by the Australian Army rugby team. Somehow we thought that we were going to be cool.
Yeah.
And have a rugby team on the MU.
They don't even.
Nobody played rugby prior to that, right?
None of us. Okay. None of us played rugby, and then we figured that we would just practice on the flight deck because we were on the flat top.
We're Marines. Why not? We can learn rugby.
Yeah, I think we lost about 12 rugby balls over the side.
Or how about the non-skid?
No, that's good. That's good for the scrum.
Good for the scrum. Yeah, all grip, no flip.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't even wear shoes in Australia till they're like 12 playing rugby. Like they play barefoot.
There's nothing cooler in the world to me than, I think it's the New Zealand black shirts.
All Blacks.
The All Blacks.
When they do the haka before, oh man, that's something else.
Well, look, I'm English, so I don't love the haka, but I'm terrified.
Do you like rugby? Are you?
Yeah.
Will you watch it? You'll sit down and watch it
for 80 straight minutes. Yes.
That's how long it is?
80.
Those guys are legit. So you played rugby for 80 minutes against Australians?
Yeah. Well, we got pummeled.
Yeah.
But they were really cool about it. Like after they gave us steaks and beer and stuff. So
still good friends at the end of it, but kicked your ass in the meantime.
But it was great. And then
so were you a hyper runner at that time or an ultra runner?
I did. Let's see. I think I had 2 marathons under my belt.
Okay,
at that point. So I hadn't quite broken into that real serious endurance racing. So I was, kind of nibbling at the edges a little bit there.
Right.
But, and then obviously when you're on on deployment, not a whole lot of good marathon training on the boat.
Yeah.
So,
And were you and Bridget married when you were infantry officer?
Yes.
Okay.
We got married right after IOC. So, so interesting about that. So, of course, you get done IOC. She's a nurse at Bethesda, and got married, went on our honeymoon, packed up my truck. She was still stationed in Bethesda. I had to go out to California. It's like, all right, we'll see
Love you, bye.
Love you. See you when we see you. Fortunately, I think it was about 4 months. Yeah, it was about 4 months. She got orders out to Balboa Naval Hospital. So we were able to actually, live as a married couple in Southern California. And then shortly after that, I went on deployment. So as most Marine Corps family stories go.
I was born at Balboa Naval Hospital.
Balboa's great.
Much later, mind you, after y'all were there, or much earlier, I should say.
Yes.
Before.
I'm not that old.
No, you're not that old, and I'm not that young. Thank God. So, you got the Westpac first though? Like, was there any better deployment after that?
I mean, so great deployment. A couple pretty good missions too. Hit East Timor to do some work with the UN, and then
that was when East Timor was all flared up.
And that was also, as a matter of fact, 21 years ago on the 12th is when USS Cole was bombed.
Wow!
So we were actually in the Persian Gulf. Got word that the attack happened in Aden, Yemen, and basically did a U-turn, and we were there for about 2 months. So
that's hard to believe that's 20 years old.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But that was, great MU mission. I mean, exactly what you would have that type of capability for is just go out there. And I tell you what, like watching those sailors save that ship was pretty amazing, pretty inspiring. We lost 17 sailors on that one. So, so then after that, did that little security mission there and did some stuff, did some bilateral training with the Emiratis, and was in Kuwait for a little bit. And spent Seychelles, Africa for Christmas. So we pulled into Seychelles, Africa for Christmas, which was pretty awesome.
That had to be, really rad.
Probably the coolest surfing I think I've ever done. I, of course, took my board on deployment.
You got to watch out for sharks in those waters.
A little bit. We knew nothing about the water, but I tell you, man, it was just super cool. Like the swell there was really nice.
When did you guys start having kids?
Let's see. So I think it was like 4 years after. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was basically right at that time that I was considering going to law school and kind of making that decision. Do I stay in the Marine Corps? Or do I try to pursue this law degree thing? And then of course the Marine Corps starts to dangle those carrots of, well, we can pay for law school. We have a program for that. So we got pregnant. I got accepted in law school, accepted in the law program. I was actually on another MU and flew back pretty early, like the first month of that deployment, in order to execute the orders to go to law school.
So you left for a full-blown MU, and then you flew back home so you could start law school? Yeah.
It was so flew back to San Diego, packed up our house. Bridget was 9 months pregnant with with Paige, with our firstborn, and then we bought a house in New Jersey and started law school and had our first kid all basically within the same week.
Do you and your wife ever look back on that and just ask yourself, like, what the hell were we thinking?
Oh, not only that, but this could have gone sideways 5 different ways. So, but it all worked out, and it's one of those things where level head and kind of that good support. And we had some good support with family and friends and everything else, and it really it worked out. And going back to New Jersey where I grew up was a good fit too. So you had family there? Yeah, that's super helpful too.
And you went to Rutgers?
Yeah, I went to Rutgers, Camden, right outside of Philly. So undergrad,
you take the train.
Undergrad at Villanova, and then Rutgers, Camden, right outside of Philly.
What's that sandwich that they claim to have invented that they put French fries on?
Oh, that's in Primanti Brothers.
No,
that's
in
Pittsburgh.
I thought it was outside of Rutgers.
Might very well be.
Kyle,
I know. Josh.
It's called like the fat someone. I can't.
See, Evan, I'm all clean eating.
I know it.
You can tell, right?
Oh, that's the Fat Albert.
Yeah.
Kyle, no,
it's the Fat Albert.
Yeah, the Fatty Arbuckle. Yeah.
We spent a long weekend.
Speaking of peen.
We spent a long weekend in Pittsburgh and ate Primanti Brothers. And there's French fries.
So does everything about that? We spent a long weekend in Pittsburgh just close my head in a door before that ever is a consideration.
We were up there for a friend's wedding. That's the only reason that we went. And that wedding was a freaking blast.
Shut up, you loser.
Yeah, loser. We would not go to Pittsburgh just for...
I would hope
You
not.
know,
It's called a
We're going our summer break to Kenosha, Wisconsin. It's like, yeah.
Chase is like, hey.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. The Veteran
Great
Business
beer
Collective
and
did
better
sponsor
cheese.
this episode, so we don't want to make Chase mad. What do you got, Josh?
It's called a Fat Daryl.
Fat Daryl.
It's,
Never had a Fat Daryl.
It's got chicken
you heard of
fingers,
it? No,
mozzarella
I haven't heard of it
sticks,
either.
French fries, marinara sauce.
And that's at Rutgers, right? Outside of Rutgers campus?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, on the YouTube episode of this,
failed.
let's put a picture, Josh, up of the sandwich, so that way everybody can see it. Because I'd eat a sandwich with
I've seen it on
with
Man vs.
fried
Food.
mozzarella sticks.
It's
I'd
gnarly,
eat the
dude.
hell out of that right now.
It's gorgeous.
It's called the fat what?
The Fat
Fat
Daryl.
Daryl.
Fat Daryl.
You were close with the Fat Albert, though.
Yeah, sorry, I just had peen on the mind, man.
Naturally.
Yeah. How is that any different from any other day
not.
that you live your life?
Why do you think I'm sitting so close to him?
Oh, I love it. Oh, we got about 2 more minutes left in this segment, so go ahead and pick up. So you finished law school,
Yeah,
and now
finished law school, and then came down to Eastern North Carolina.
Yeah.
So came down here and did the normal first tour. It was a defense counsel for a little under 2 years, and then just like everybody else, wanted to go and volunteer for deployment to Iraq. So got my wish, and
Yep.
spent 13 months there.
we all got our wish,
Careful
right?
what you wish for.
Yeah. Well, I got to come back to that too on the other side of the
13
break.
months. That's Army. That's Army.
That
Yeah,
is,
no
man.
kidding.
Yeah.
That was
Because
my first one.
when
yeah.
I was in law school, of course, at the time that I left the infantry to go to law school, that was pretty much when we were like, all right, we're not going to Afghanistan, because that already kind of happened in that 2001, 2002. Like, okay, leave the battalion, and then of course 2003, all my boys are doing the march up from Kuwait to Baghdad. And
What?
Needless to say, I was a little upset with myself for.
I had to go to law school.
Yeah, what was I doing? But again, 2006, I certainly got the opportunity.
There was plenty to do.
Yeah.
Plenty to do.
Where were you in 06, Al Anbar?
So I flew into Al Assad, and then I think I was on the ground for about 2 days. And they're like, an infantry battalion needs a lawyer. So I went out to Barwana, and hey, I was back with the infantry.
Yeah, you were.
After going to law school for 3 years.
Coming full circle, right?
Were you
Couple years in
stoked?
courtroom.
Like,
Absolutely.
you were-
Yeah, no, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Great opportunity, a great unit.
I love it. All right, we're going to talk about what you have coming up next, what the future looks like, and I did promise high fives and good vibes, Matt. So I got to make sure that we. Oh, no.
Intercepted.
Oh, nice! Pick six. Watch that on YouTube, because that was the best.
That was epic.
Yeah, well done, Evan. Well done.
That's the spirit of John Lynch.
Yes,
right
it is.
there.
Yes, it is.
Number
I love
47,
it.
the GOAT.
Oh, man. We can talk football if you want to. It is football season. It's all right. We'll talk about whatever we want to on the other side of this break. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back on Signal Fire Radio.
Being that I've been full-time with Signal Fire now for a few months, I find a frequent question that clients and prospects are asking me. So when we enter into this partnership with the Signal Fire team, what is the experience going to look like? We have the fortunate location of being in the Cargo District here in Wilmington, North Carolina. We got a brand new studio and a pretty cool vibe co-work space called Co-works. And we bring in our clients to the studio once a month, 3 to 4 hours. And in that time window, we talk about the things that you're passionate about, the things that pertain to your business and that are gonna help grow either your products or your services, but it gets your niche, it gets your value proposition out there in the most engaging content, which is video. So here in the studio, in that 4-hour window, we develop podcasts, YouTube video, YouTube channel videos, and the soundbite videos, which are 60 to 90 second video segments used to leverage on social platforms. And 7 days after recording, you get an email from me saying, hey dude, here's the link to the Google Share Drive. And that's where the journey begins, where we begin coaching you how to use our marketing model to leverage the greatest value out of all these media assets. So please, we are here, ready for you, and we can't wait to bring you in the studio. But one thing I will say is it's an absolute blast.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Dress Codes Explained. I'm your host, Rob Renz, president of the Suiting Warriors Foundation. Special thanks to our sponsor, Blue Mind Co-working Space. If you are in need of temporary long-term office space, please take a look at Blue Mind Co-working right here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Now today we're going to talk about my absolute favorite thing in the whole entire world when it comes to professional dress, and that is shoes. Now, you might not know this, shoes have rules with how you should wear them and when you should wear them based off of the professional attire or the dress code of the day. So I'll go through 5 or 6 different pairs of shoes and try to give you a real brief rundown of what the shoe is and when you should wear it. First and foremost, we'll start with what goes perfectly with business professional, and that's a simple, clean Oxford. I recommend that every gentleman have 2 pairs of Oxfords, a brown leather pair and a black leather pair. Now, I like my Oxford simple. These are just a simple cap toe Oxford. It doesn't have a lot of detail on it. If you're looking around and you're shopping for shoes, you might see that there's like little holes punched in them. That's called broguing. That's not my personal preference, and I don't really ever wear any shoes that have been brogued or that have wingtips. When it comes to business professional, you can never, ever, ever go wrong with a cap-toed Oxford, and I recommend you always have 2 pairs, a brown pair and a black pair, because you can wear them with just about anything. Now, if you're gonna go business casual and you wanna dress it down a little bit, a loafer is a great option to have. Now, this is a bit loafer because it has a bit on it, but loafers, just like Oxfords or brogues or any other type of shoe, has a million different options. You can get a penny loafer, you can get a bit loafer. I like the bit loafers when dressing down for business casual because it adds a little bit of flair and a little bit of style to it, more so than what a penny loafer would. Next, we have something called a chuckaboot. Now, a chuckaboot goes fantastic with business casual. This is a leather one. They have suede options. This also looks really fantastic with a great pair of jeans and a crisp shirt or a nice polo if you're going out on date night. Haha, the very daring and exotic monk strap. Now, I don't ever recommend a monk strap with anything other than business casual or smart casual. A monk strap is a really great shoe to wear if you're going out on date night, going to a trendy restaurant or getting cocktails with friends. A monk strap is a really great shoe to wear. And then I also recommend that every gentleman have something called a lifestyle sneaker. So this is a leather top, rubbered sole lifestyle sneaker. It goes well with jeans. It goes well with chinos or khakis. If you're really feeling bold, you can wear that with a suit, but be very careful in what environment it is that you're going to wear a lifestyle sneaker with a suit in. You don't want to, I don't know, you don't want to come across as too casual, but it's a really trendy look right now, so you can kind of get away with it. The other thing I recommend with shoes is shoe maintenance. Every pair of shoes should come with cedar shoe trees. It's just going to add a ton of life to your shoes. And then also, never, ever, ever use colored shoe polish. I always use neutral shoe polish on all of my shoes, and I usually do it after every time that I wear them. Or if you're sitting down in the airport or somewhere getting your shoes polished, just ask them for a neutral tone on your shoe polish. That way, it preserves the actual leather of the shoe that you have. Last little bit is your sole. These are leather-soled shoes, which means that I'm never going to wear these in the rain. We live in an area where the climate is very temperate, but if you live somewhere like in the Northeast or where it rains a lot, you probably want to invest in a pair of rubber-soled shoes. And if you spend enough on your shoes, the only thing you'll ever have to do is replace the soles as they wear down. That's going to do it for us here on Dress Codes Explained. If you would like to get involved as a volunteer or a donor with Suiting Warriors, please visit our website, suitingwarriors.org, or email me directly at info@suitingwarriors.org. We'll talk to you next week. Hey, welcome back to Signal Fire Radio. Matt's making goofy hand movements as he drinks his 14 gallons of water. Hey, don't forget.
The biggest water bottle I've ever seen.
It's unbelievable.
That's his second biggest water bottle.
That boy hydrates. And dude, you've got your family dialed in on hydration
That's
too
why
as well.
His skin is so supple.
So taut.
No, that's Sarah V, buddy.
Oh yeah, Evan's skincare routine.
Yep.
If you have not followed us on Instagram, you probably should, because Evan gives his skincare nighttime routine tips out.
I'm a skinfluencer.
Oh my god.
No, that's.
Did you just come up with that?
I just did. I'm sure it's a thing, but
brilliant.
Avery's got much nicer skin than
Dude,
any of us.
dude, did you see that video of him reading?
Dude, that was
seeing
awesome.
Avery's like smile
That
and laugh
smile,
is
that genuine.
the best.
Yeah, he's the best. I'm gonna make him the face of Suiting Warriors. Which, by the way, we do have a suit up coming up here in Wilmington, North Carolina, at Blue Mind Co-working Center on November 13th. The hours are 9 to 1. You can come get some good LinkedIn learning.
Veterans Day weekend.
Veterans Day weekend, yeah. So get some LinkedIn learning from Jennifer Goodman and Matt Quick, both members of the board of Suiting Warriors, and then get some free suits. I actually think that registration might be completely full. I think we have a few more spots left.
For real?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think so. So jump on it, and if it's already full, then we got this podcast out. Obviously, way too late to promote our own event.
And this episode is coming to you by the support from
the Veteran Business Collective.
Yeah.
And
Shout
also,
out to the Veebs.
And also, one last thing: go buy T-shirts from our website, because our T-shirts do support all of these very well-deserving nonprofits. If you want to get you a Chill Switch Engage, a combat cocktail, the new, we got the Señal de Fuego up there, which is Spanish for
Signal fire.
signal fire. Right in time for Dia.
Señal.
Yeah, can you do it? You do it. Do the name of the celebration.
Dia de los Muertos.
There you go. Okay, he's so good at it. He's
So
the way
sexy.
he rolls his R's.
It's smooth.
I
know.
I
It
speak
moved.
Spanish.
So
It moved.
Yeah.
eggplant pointing up.
Matt liked when I ordered food in Spanish from the market.
Yeah.
He was like, "Whoa."
Las Portales?
Yeah.
Oh man, the
He's
first,
like, te raca, te paca, te loca, te raca, te pica, te laca, te paca. It's like, whoa.
when we were up, do you remember when he ordered the tortas from the
coming back
food truck
from-
on the way back from States? My mind was blown how he just walked up there and just like rattled it off, and that was a damn good sandwich. Too, by the way.
Theirs typically are too when
Yeah.
you just see little old Milky Me in just rapid Spanish.
Yeah, with
ordering
your
food
with your hemp fanny pack on, and I love it. I'm
I
so
know.
glad
I
you're
do
here.
what I
missed
can.
And
you.
his big Lebowski
Yep.
quads.
I missed your face, missed your musk, missed everything about
I
you.
missed you guys.
Dude, that
I
road
missed you.
that has been one of the most epic day road trips I've ever been on.
I was like, oh my god.
Sorry,
No,
we need
we
to
gotta get
Kyle
out of
back.
here.
Kyle wasn't in the car with us.
Before we segue onto much cooler things
Okay.
like Kyle's journey,
Yeah.
I just want to say that I don't think Chris Pfeffer's ever talked to us again.
No, he hasn't.
He has, well, at THF.
Yeah,
but-
okay.
So, funny story. 3, enlisted dudes
Knuckleheads.
went out to an event at Brad Kislowski's garage in Statesville. He's like one of the biggest NASCAR drivers. And
We love you, Brad.
Yeah, love you,
And
Brad.
it was
Shout
for
out.
suit. It was a suit up for THF alum.
Well, yeah, we pulled him from the Honor Foundation, but
Yeah.
it was a Suiting Warriors thing and Checkered Flag.
Well, one of them
Foundation.
was Peffer, who is a colonel at MARSOC.
Yeah.
And that poor guy.
Yeah.
We're sitting there acting like very enlisted people the entire way there and back.
Screaming entire Weezer
Yeah,
albums on
yeah.
the way up on a 3-hour drive to
And
Statesville.
he was
Is
a
he not
champ.
road tripping with you anymore?
Yeah, we haven't.
He was such a
We're
champ.
waiting on a
Yeah,
call
he was a
back.
champ. He was a champ. He loosened up a little bit there towards the end.
Yeah.
I think he had fun.
I think he wanted to
Every
be
time
reading-
I see him, I get a good big hug from him. So
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
that
yeah.
we didn't burn any bridges with our
That's good.
ridiculous antics. So
But dude,
that
that-
was a great day.
Lots of courage water
a
flowing.
lot of
that day.
we had micheladas. We had
See?
everything. We picked Evan up at like 7:30 in the morning at Lumberton, and we all cracked a crispy, and we're like, "Here we go, we're
Yeah.
going to Statesville."
God, that was a great day.
I love it. So we were real quick on the break, Kyle. We were talking about why go from being an infantry officer to law school. What was why did you want to do that?
Yeah, so when I was listening to Evan talk about prepping for his transition, I kind of realized that I think I was prepping for my transition like 19 years ago, I guess.
You just got a jump start on it, yeah.
And just
Yeah,
managed
exactly.
I just managed to kind of stay in the Marine Corps throughout the entire process. But it was one of those things where it was always something I wanted to do was go to law school, and then of course like I said, the Marine Corps just has an opportunity to kind of say, well, you can kind of stay in, and we'll send you to law school, and you can.
Have you seen A Few Good Men?
Yeah, right.
That could
But
be you.
Colonel
I had always
Jessup.
wanted to be an infantry officer when I was going through undergrad, and had a great time doing it, and it was tough leaving, but that was one of the things where getting my law degree, practicing law was something that I wanted to do, and then after I got out of law school, and then especially when I was in Iraq, I was like, wow, this is actually the best thing for me and probably the best thing for the Marine Corps, because you're in Barwan, Iraq, and you realize that you got to do combat patrols, to do property settlement meetings with folks that have lost their livelihood and their buildings, and you're
goats.
prepping. You're
for another time,
trying to figure out what the value of a brown camel that was on the wrong end of a rifle.
He ran over a goat in Iraq.
So
on an MRAP.
International.
We had one of those. I think it was in Ramadi. Yeah.
So crazy things where you realize that the folks that you went to law school, they're just not having as cool experience as you are.
Yeah, that's such a cool way to look at your experience, because the opposite of that could be like, well, I'm an
assistant DA at this crappy county, and I hate my life.
Or they work the books, or they do something, like Carson's miserable at his practice right now because he's trying to rebuild it.
We got honeycut
up in Alaska.
We got to get honeycut out here. We got to get honeycut out here.
But it's so cool that you have all that experience, and then now you have 20 years of law experience. So like you said, you've been ready to transition for a long time.
It's been great. And the Marine Corps just has as everybody knows, I mean, the Marine Corps, the Army, Navy, it just has this ability to put you in new and more uncomfortable situations, which, going back to the All Blacks rugby team, there's a great book called Legacy. James Kerr is the author. I don't know if you guys ever read it, but my favorite quote in that whole book is "Pressure's a privilege." And that's one thing that, I know, right? I'm sorry. Did I bring it down?
No. Name of the episode. Name of the episode. Pressure's privilege.
Pressure is a privilege.
Yeah, pressure is privilege. Name of the episode.
And I mean, I tell my kids that. I talk to my Marines about that. There's a lot of folks that want to be in the position that we collectively have found ourselves in. And instead of kind of getting all down and being like, wow, it sucks, I got to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and PT or whatever else is going on. There's a lot of folks that want to be in the position that we're in.
Not that you're planning to retire anytime soon, but do you anticipate that you'll continue to practice law on the back end of the Marine Corps?
Man, I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. I'm trying to seriously.
That's okay.
That's all right. I mean, I figure it'll. I'll figure it out. I don't know if I want to practice law. I don't know if I want to try to break into the business community, ride the coattails of my more talented spouse.
Dude, I'm doing that right now. And it's
so I mean, there's a
yeah, you are.
It is wonderful. I finally get the break that I deserve.
So who knows? I really don't know after this whatever this Marine Corps journey, wherever it goes. I don't know what I'm going to do.
What would your advice be? Because you have a marketable skill that has been given to you by the United States Marine Corps. Well, not given to you. I'm sorry, that's the wrong word. You've earned it. You did the work of going through law school, but not everybody gets to come out of the Marines with a law degree. You could have been a 4-year infantry officer, and so there's a lot more of them than there are of 30-year colonel with a law degree and haven't passed the bar and all that other stuff. What would your advice be to people that might not feel like they have that like professional skill, having gotten out of the military, when deciding what to do next?
I mean, everybody knows that we talk about soft skills or some of those intangibles, discipline, goal setting, just some stuff that is inherent in kind of what we do in the military and the Marine Corps and the other branches of service. And that can't be overlooked, and it shouldn't be minimized. The value of being able to, we call it problem framing, right? Like, okay, what is it that we're faced with, and then attacking that. And the most important thing too is just be passionate about whatever it is that you're doing, and whatever you want to transition into. Just make sure that you're passionate about it. And then the other thing that I always tell folks, because 10,000 Marines transition out of North Carolina every year. So there's a lot of opportunities where I get to talk to folks that are leaving the Marine Corps, and I'm like, hey man, don't be afraid to fail, because after all, if you start something, you're doing it for 6 months, a year after you leave the Marine Corps, and you don't like it, move on to something else.
Yeah, there's no contract anymore.
Like that's I think that's a lot a lot of folks don't realize that they have a little bit more autonomy over themselves once they leave military service, and they're able to use those skills, but then they're also able to take some risks and try some things, and then just not being afraid to fail. And then you're able to say, okay, tried this for a little bit, learn some stuff, like some things, but not what I'm passionate about. So then you move on to something else.
Do you think that's a hard thing to find, that autonomy again after you ETS or EAS? Like what would you say a good process would be? You know, being on active duty, looking at a lot of people leaving, having conversations with them. How do you go about finding that?
So I always tell everybody, and I ask them when I first meet folks, when they check in, and I'll say, all right, what's the one thing that you're passionate about outside the Marine Corps? Like, what is it that you love to do outside the Marine Corps? And that goes back to balance. You know, we all talk balance and everything else. And I know Matt was talking earlier. Like, for me, it's this whole like endurance racing world that I kind of find myself into, and being able to have that balance so that the transition it's not as emotionally taxing on you, right? Because now you have something else that you're real comfortable with, and there's some stability. And I think that helps folks that are transitioning out. Because then you have other folks that you're able to kind of lean on a little bit. And, you know, I mean, the Marine Corps is always going to, and your brothers and sisters in the Marine Corps are always going to be there. And, you know, just like Matt and I mean, think about 15 seconds in the first time we talked, all of a sudden we're, you know, yucking it up because you got that common experience. That's always going to be there. But, man, it's really important, I think, to just have something outside of your life in uniform.
And something healthy, too.
Absolutely.
A healthy habit.
Makes you like the Marine Corps a lot more, too.
Does it?
Yeah. I think so. Like, I think I enjoy the Marine Corps a lot more because I have a great community in the endurance racing community that just, you know, enables me to be like, all right, that's cool. And then I, you know, able to go back and go to work and do fun things, you know, up in my job up at the base.
In a given week, how many miles do you think you and Bridget won, or do you guys run different lengths?
So right now I'm in between training for races. So I'm about 35 miles per week. I'm going to ramp up. So I did in April. I did a 24-hour race in the Shenandoah, which was
Shenandoah River.
That was wicked.
Yeah,
that was it was orienteering. So basically, you're land navving to different boxes.
That's cool.
In the Shenandoah Mountains, and the first part was trail running, and then we went into canoeing, which. Canoeing on Class 3 rapids, that basically translated to me flipping.
With little experience, right?
With very little experience canoeing. And,
This is April?
This was in April. The water was a little chilly.
Yeah, a little chilly.
So me and my one buddy, you know, who I was in the boat with, the most difficult thing was trying to swim with the canoe with our packs, so that we were able to kind of continue.
So this is like an eco challenge. I mean,
totally was.
This wasn't just a run.
It was great. And then, I mean, after that, it was about 62 miles of mountain biking at night with headlamps on like single track. And
sounds brutal.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
I have an idea. We're running out of time, but I want to put this out there. Can we put together some Signal Fired logo gear for you to wear, and you'll be like the poster boy of Signal Fire on your ultra marathons?
So my next race, I got the Southern Tour Ultra 50K coming up, which this is the bad part about having like talented athletic family members, though, because my wife won that race. I think 2 years ago.
It's okay to play second fiddle to your wife.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I do every day.
Right.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do.
So I'm probably not going to continue that family tradition there. But yes, that's the next one. That's in January, and that's going to be my first straight up ultra run.
How sleek would it be to have Kyle in all black, Signal Fire Steve right there on the front or on the back? You know, like in the neoprene, right? Is that what you like to run in, or is it like all silkies and?
Hey man, whatever you're gonna put me.
All right, we're gonna Let's get some specs together, Matt, because
that would be awesome.
That'll be the launch point of the Signal Fire Fit line that Chase has been on about.
So 50K is how many miles?
That's like 30, a little over 31.
I don't drive that many. I don't drive that many miles in a week.
So I always swore I was never going to do an ultra because I've done 10 marathons. I actually did one in Fallujah, which was Yeah,
Out.
which was pretty interesting. I think it was six. I think
Just
we did
ran around the
6
fob
laps.
a million times.
I
Yeah.
have great pictures of like M1 Abrams tanks leaving the wire as I'm in my little bib, you know, doing my like 3rd or 4th lap.
Oh, so it was an official race.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't
no,
just like a
it was
kind
with
of
the
MWR
actually
is
the Houston Marathon actually sponsored us. So
That's
we got
amazing.
we got all
That's
like
so
integrated
cool.
in with the Houston Marathon. It was really cool.
I love it.
It was a good race, but yeah, it's cool. It's just kind of a cool way to kind of pick up something else and set some goals and do something a little bit different.
I love it. I love it. All right, we're going to wrap with that. Kyle, thank you so much for coming on. Best of luck to you on whatever step is next for you. We're going to get some gear put together for you. I can promise you that, because that's going to Matt, will you run behind him with a GoPro for 50-some-odd miles?
for 50
in a car.
seconds.
Yeah.
Well, Matt said he was going to pace me the last 10 miles.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. We can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be like the relay race. Like we'll each get 2 and we'll bring him home. You know, like with GoPros and videos and all that stuff.
Be awesome.
I love it. I love it. Ev, congratulations on getting out of the Army, buddy.
Thank you.
I love you. I'm glad you're here.
Love you, dude.
Matt, I love you too.
Love you.
All right. That's going to do it for us on this episode of Signal Fire Radio. Until next week, go out and feed your mind, strengthen your body, enrich your spirits, and grow your tribe, and go be a signal fire in your community. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Many veterans struggle to find an industry that they feel is a good fit for them. To this, I would say it's important to do your due diligence and talk to as many people as you can from as many different industries as you can and learn as much about each one as possible, while at the same time evaluating your own strengths and weaknesses to see where might be a good fit for you. They can also get hung up on the fact that they feel like they don't have enough experience in an industry that does interest them. To this, I would say, find people in that industry, talk to them, do some research, and if you're still interested, just dive in. Nobody has all the answers on day one when they start out with something, and a lot of things can be figured out on the move as you go. Just don't let fear hold you back. Just get started. A third issue holding veterans back from entering business or starting their own business is a lack of capital to get started in the first place, and then to operate their business and at the same time take care of their families. One way to look at it is find a business that you can start as a side hustle while you continue to work full-time to take care of your family, and grow the business up to a point where it makes sense to transition from full-time employment into business. Veterans should also explore funding options through the Small Business Administration, where it may be possible to draw enough capital to pay yourself a salary as you're starting out your business. You can also explore non-traditional funding options through places like FOLA Capital, which offer crowdfunding solutions and other creative forms of capitalizing an enterprise. And thirdly, you can look for a business partner who may be able to bring the necessary capital to your startup.